Fate is before you. Choose wisely. I did a show recently entitled, What is a Queen Without a Crown? And in that show, I looked at the psychopathology behind a lot of modern American women and how their lack of insight and their lack of intuitiveness will leave them in a state of disrepair. From that show, I wanted to talk about something called delusions, but also delusions by the way of magical thinking when a woman exonerates herself higher than what she really is. As you know, there's been a phenomenal brother in the YouTube manosphere by the name of Kevin Samuels. And Kevin Samuels has risen to a very astounding or more or less exponential rate over these last couple of months. But he did a show more or less recently about a young lady that more or less exhibited some of the qualities that I talked about from my show, What is a Queen Without a Crown? In this show, we will be looking at all the dynamics, all the intricacies of what Mr. Samuels talked about, but I will be paralleling and also parroting some of the things that he talked about and more or less looking at or determining whether or not this woman more or less exhibits some of the same patterns of the modern American woman. So I want you to sit back and enjoy this show by me, the culture clinician, and we're going to examine some of the techniques and some of the anecdotal tendencies that Kevin Samuels have seen, and also myself. And we're going to ask ourselves the question, will this woman die alone, or will she become a queen without a crown? So I want you to sit back, relax, and enjoy this show as I'm your host, the culture clinician. And remember this, if it ain't 7, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, it ain't right. I want you to enjoy this show, and I want you to expound upon it, and I want you to, more or less, after you look at this show, to answer the questions for yourself. Is she a queen without a crown? And will she die alone if she doesn't change the behaviors that she's exhibiting? Be well. Correlation and the outpouring to a video that I did a couple of days ago entitled, What is a Queen Without a Crown? And so I think Mr. Samuels did a remarkable job, more or less, extrapolating the delusions of this particular modern young lady. You know, even though her intentions may be noble, she suffered from some of the same issues that a lot of our modern women suffer from, which is the over evaluation of themselves. Let's look at this video, and I want you to more or less give me your input. And is Kevin Samuels right? Is this young lady a queen without a crown? If she continues on the same path, will she be a queen without a crown? I want you to explore it and more or less give me your input. But I think Kevin Samuels is spot on with this particular one. So let's explore this particular video. Break it down.
What you got for me?
Hello, how are you?
I am well. What do you got for me?
Can you hear me?
I can. How old are you?
Oh, I was just thinking that when you do 32.
Okay. All right. And now, what do you got on the topic? Modern women want the world.
Yes, we do. I agree. I think that we do.
Why?
Why?
We want it. We built it.
Because we can have it if we want.
Notice this young lady said we can have it because we want it. But you notice she never came to the table more or less saying, what am I willing to do to serve my family, my community, or my husband? Her only intentions more or less were, we can have it and we want it. And see, that goes back to the psychopathology that I talked about earlier, or 3 days ago, entitled, What is a Queen Without a Crown? You know, a lot of these modern women, and there are some great women, so shout out to the great sisters out there that have a spirit of humility and have a love for family and have a love for their husbands and the future of their children. But unfortunately, this young lady is the antithesis to the show that I did a couple of days ago. And because of that gross narcissism and entitlement, is she a queen without a crown? Does she qualify for the merits and services of a great man? I want you to explore it. Let's look at it.
You can?
I think that we can have it if we want it.
Okay. Then why don't you have it? Why don't you have? Why don't you have
What do you
it?
mean? Why don't I have it?
Why don't women have it?
What do you mean?
Well, you can say you can have it if you want
I
it.
think that a lot of
Hold on. If you say women can have it if they want, then you say they want it, then why don't they have it?
I don't think that they don't have it.
Really?
I have a lot of friends that I believe have it.
Really?
I think it depends on what you're defining as the world.
No. Oh, let's do it. What state do you live in?
Ohio.
Mm-hmm. How old are you?
I said 32.
32. Do you want to be married?
And Ohio 6, by the way.
Okay. Do your friends want to be married?
My friends are married.
Okay. What percentage of black women will marry in their lifetime?
I think it depends on what age group you're talking
And
about.
even if she is married, or even if she does have a crown, does she qualify to be a husband, a wife? And is she giving her friends false information?
Hell no. 26.
26% of black
Why you
will be married in their lifetime.
Why are you stroking your hair like that? I mean,
because that's just what I do when I get nervous.
Oh, okay. 26%, 1 in 4 black women will marry in their lifetime.
What is the statistic based on?
The population.
Is it like population?
The population, 1 in 4 will marry in their lifetime.
Okay.
So the fact that you're married means 3 other women aren't, and the fact that your friends are married, that means you got to say 3 times as more aren't. 80% of black children are born to single parent households,
which is unfortunate.
There's no husband. But if you
Very
watch my
unfortunate.
show, or if you ask women, most women will say they want to be what? Married. But yet they can't seem to be married. So that's one thing that modern women say they want.
And that more or less highlights or pontificates what I was talking about yesterday. You know, one of the central points to that show, What is a Queen Without a Crown, is the importance of having a masculine covering and having a husband to help solve some of the problems in the community. Boys need masculine energy. Boys need guidance. Girls need the love, the adulation, and the affection of their fathers. But when you have a faltering community, and even though, once again, this young woman is married, she's given a lot of young women false information. And if she does have a crown, is the man in her life strong? Is he passive? Or more or less, does he hold his wife accountable, when she's out of line? So let's continue to look at this video.
But they can't have.
Okay. Well, whose fault is that?
Women. Yours.
Why?
Yours. Because
why is it my fault?
Oh, no, not yours. Women. It's women's fault. I'll tell you why it's women's fault. Women's fault. Prior to 1965, black people in this country were married at a rate of 80%, with the height of Jim Crow segregation and everything else.
Yes.
So if we were more married in the 60s and 50s and 40s and 30s and 20s, why all of a sudden, with more advancements, more freedoms and everything else, why are we less married? Because 80% of divorces are filed in the black community are filed by women.
Okay. And where do you get your statistics from?
The Bureau of Labor Statistics, the census, accurate places like that, blackdemographics.com, black statistics for black people, by black people. Where do you get your information from?
Similar sources.
Well, tell me some of the places you get yours from.
The census.
Okay, all I've heard about is your friends so far.
Okay. Well, that's the information you asked me about my friends.
Well, if you, when I asked you about what percentage of black women will get married, you said 60 to 70%.
That was an educated guess.
That was a poor education. If you get your stats from any reliable place, that is just outrageous. So
there's no way for me to know what questions you're going to ask.
Well, what I will say is, you ask me where I get my information from, and if you're going to ask me that, you're questioning my stats. So I'm going to question your information. And I will say the little bit of information I've given has been far more accurate than what you've given me in your anecdotal experience.
Okay. All right.
This is another reason why modern women can't have it all, because you don't know enough.
You know, it's okay for you to like give statistics, but if you can't give me the references and you can't show me,
I'm not going. Okay, hold on, ma'am. Don't play with me.
You know
Don't
what?
play. No. See, I'm about to go there with you because you asked me where we got them from. And all you got to do is get off your ass and go look for them yourself. But getting off your ass may be a big problem.
Whoa.
See, when you play with me, I'll play back.
okay.
The heavy
You
hitter.
want to be respectful? We can be respectful. You want to cap and snap? We can do that too.
I don't want to cap and snap.
All right, well, let's keep it respectful.
The original conversation.
Okay, and the original conversation is modern women want the world, but the modern women did not build the world. Modern women don't understand how the basic world works. Even the infrastructure. I said that modern women don't know enough, meaning you're not as informed upon the levers of power, the things that actually make women move. Most women only get curious about things that are of substance when they're married or older. Younger women tend not to care about anything, which is why AM talk radio is not for young women. It's for men and old women.
Why do you think that young women don't care?
Because they don't have to.
Then how do they like procure that information? Like how do they understand?
They usually have to be taught by their man. They're usually taught by their man. You go from your father.
I was not taught by my man.
Well, that's okay. You ask how do they normally do it? That's how it normally happens. That's how it's normally supposed to go happen. It's supposed to go from father to your man's house.
And look at the level of brokenness that we see in this current American culture. You know, there was a time when, if you go back to 50 to 100 years ago, it was typical that the dad gave the daughter away to her husband. And she was under his guidance, love, and leadership. And then in the end, the husband provided, protected, and the greatest gift was given his life. But this is the dysfunction that we see in modern America. This is the dysfunction that we see in a lot of homes. And when you try to bring clarity to the discussion, many are not only baffled because they are so used to marring in their dysfunction. In a family, there must be an equilibrium in order for the child and the community and the husband and the wife to benefit. But unfortunately, we don't have that. So let's finish listening to what Kevin Samuels is saying.
But why are women? Here's the question. Since you asked me this question, why do you think 1 in 4 Black women will marry in their lifetime? What's the problem?
I think that the options, like what's available for women, what they want.
The options. Hold on. The options, you meaning what?
Like in terms of men that are available to them.
51% of Black men are single and childless. 64% are in the middle class. There are plenty of marriageable Black men in this country. Black men are 2 million. Black men are 2 million less.
Are they in Ohio?
Black men are 2 million less than Black women, and 847 million more marriages. There are less Black men, but Black men are married at a higher rate. So it's not that Black women are not marrying anybody.
That are wearing, are these
Black? You don't overtalk me. You do that to your husband. You don't do that to me. I muted you because you don't seem to realize you don't overtalk me. Now, here's what I'm going to need to do. Okay, let's reset this. Because I'm willing to have the conversation, but looking all around the room and talking to everybody else is kind of rude when I got, thousands of people watching. I need you to at least give the platform respect and have a conversation. Please unmute.
Yes,
Can we do
I
that?
apologize.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what typically I gave you the numbers about about men, but see, it's not just a black men thing. There are plenty of black men that are single and childless. What about why are black women marrying anybody?
Are they also married to black women, like in this?
I ask why are not black women? No, we're talking about women.
Okay.
Black men are married just fine. Why aren't black women marrying anybody?
Does it not matter to you, like across race?
I asked the question, why are they? Because 1 in 4 will marry in their lifetime.
Yeah.
Why won't? That means anybody. Why aren't they marrying anybody? When in the 60s, there's married at 80% rates.
I'm not sure. That has not been like my experience in terms of the black women that I know.
But it doesn't matter. You see, your anecdotal experience does not speak for the greater group. Okay, so we're talking about the greater group. Why is it black women are having a problem finding anyone to marry?
Well, part of it, I'll answer the question, is the overestimation of themselves. You have women that have lesser qualities, but they feel that they qualify for men of greater substance. There was a time where men held women accountable. They had standards. The gold standard at one point was being a virgin, if you want to be real about it. But that's neither here nor there. We live in a different time now. But a lot of women have a gross estimation of themselves. I remember a young lady that had multiple kids by multiple guys, and she told me she was a 10. And I was appalled by the delusion and the grandiosity of her position. But however, that's what's happening to a lot of modern women. They are overestimating themselves. They have been more or less jaded by not only delusional thinking, but also magical thinking. I can't find a man because he's not worthy of me. I can't find a man because all the men are in jail. I can't find a man because all the men are gay. That's magical thinking. And because of that magical thinking, a lot of women will, if they don't change their forms of more or less thinking, they may end up not only being alone, but not more or less not qualifying for, solid men. So let's finish the conversation.
What do I think? I think that maybe they are focusing on their career, like black women tend to start businesses.
Most women don't. No. Most black women don't have careers. They have jobs. Most women have jobs, not careers. The largest two employers of black women are the federal government and retail. Those aren't careers. Those are jobs.
Even though black women are the most educated.
No, you're the most. Ma'am. You're the most enrolled, not educated. The most enrolled, not the most graduated. The most enrolled. So I know
Who's the most graduated?
You're the most enrolled. You just gave a statistic without any facts, and I told you that according to you're the most enrolled, and you're asking me another number. And you haven't answered the question. Okay. Why aren't these educated, career, job, business owning women married?
I assume they're not finding men.
They're not finding what?
They're not finding men.
Why?
Men are cheating.
No.
Men are in jail.
See, folks, this is what I want you to understand. Listen, this is that bullshit. Instead of just holding women accountable, there's always some problem with the men. Why don't you just look at the women? So if the problem's still with the men. How about does any other races of women are not? The lowest group of married women is white women after this. And they're married at a rate of what, 54%? Almost twice as married. You got to deal with the fact of why black women aren't married. Black men or any man.
Lesbians?
Excuse me?
I mean, some women are lesbians.
Are we being serious?
I am being serious. I'm not trying
but that's not the greater percentage of people, ma'am. See, how about this?
Okay.
Let me ask you a direct question.
Yes.
Do you think that the average black woman today is marriageable?
I do.
Okay, then if that's the case, are they fit for marriage?
I think so.
Then why are so few married? When you look at any other race, they're married at a greater rate of 50%. And there was a time where black women were married at a rate of 80%. The numbers don't support your belief.
Okay.
So your belief is wrong. Meaning, regardless if they're black men or any men, black women can marry any man they want to. They're not marrying black men. They're not marrying any man. If they're fit and they're marriageable, why not marry?
What do you think the issue is?
Because they're not fit or marriageable. In general. Okay. Let's go for the main thing that most men want. Let's go for the main thing men want from women. The number one thing that men want from most women is cooperation.
Yes.
Would you consider the rank and file black woman today to be cooperative?
I think black women are cooperative.
So okay.
I do.
All right.
Exit poll from the audience.
Okay.
Is your woman cooperative?
Let's go on to the next category. That's what you believe.
Okay.
They want to do an exit poll.
Out of 100% of single black women, what percentage would you say are cooperative with men?
Because we know that's not true.
With men.
60 to 70%.
60 to 70%.
What plan is this woman though?
Problem solved. 60 to 70% of single black women are cooperative.
Mm-hmm.
When you're in Ohio,
and then you said 51%.
No. Let's go. But let's go on to the next thing. Cooperative. Okay. Next thing men want from a woman is to be physically fit.
Physically fit.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You think the average single black woman is physically fit?
I think yes. If they
really,
have any
really. 80% of black women according to the Department of Health, is overweight, and 80% of that number is obese.
Uh-huh.
So, ma'am, you cannot tell me that you believe, even by your own eyes, that the average black woman today is physically fit, when the average black woman is 5'4" and 187 pounds. That's 60 some odd pounds heavier than black women were even in the 60s. You cannot tell me that they're that.
That's interesting.
That's true.
Oh.
So what part of Ohio do you live in? Or the majority of black women are 5'4" and 125 pounds or less?
Like what part of Ohio do I live?
Where do you say you live, Ohio?
Yeah.
What part of Ohio do you live in where the average black woman is 5'4" and 125 pounds less?
Columbus.
And the average black woman is in shape in Columbus?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Ooh, Lord have mercy. Right. The average black woman in Columbus is physically fit.
In my experience, I mean,
no, I don't mean your experience. I mean, okay.
Based on the statistics that you said, that is not true. The average black woman is not physically fit.
Well, ma'am, we don't have to go much further than the vicinity to realize that's not the truth. So, if you believe, well, I'll put it this way. You are free to believe what you like, but when I listen to a woman say that you believe that most single black women are cooperative with men, 60 to 70%, and most black women are physically in shape and fit. And let's go to the last one, feminine. What percentage of single black women would you say are feminine?
I think it depends on how you describe femininity.
Femininity, come on, man. See,
it's true.
No, it really doesn't. You want to go to Webster's dictionary? I mean, I don't know how you want to describe it other than what it is. 2 + 2 is 4. Everywhere else except in the black community, we always go in. It depends.
No, I'm just
What percentage of black women? What percentage of single black women are feminine in your opinion? Having qualities or appearance of traditionally associated with women.
75%.
Woo! Shit! You guys can use this.
Listen,
Hold on. To my people who watch the videos, who the people who watch to the people who watch my videos, I know.
And see, that's the issue. That's the issue that a lot of modern, or more or less, some of our women have. Some American women, or some women in this current country have. They don't have any sense of self-awareness. You know, there's a concept called the Johari window, and in that Johari window is the private self, the public self, the known self, and the unknown self. And I think in that particular quadrant, a lot of our women, or a lot of modern women in this country, struggle with self-awareness. They, once again, have an overestimation of themselves. And because of that, it's led to a condition called magnification of their self-worth and the minimization of a man's self-worth, which more or less leads to a cognitive distortion. And also the cognitive dissonance that a lot of these women have is actually telling. That's why I had to do the show, What is a Queen Without a Crown? You know, and I think the question might be paradoxical, but I would say that some levels of delusion. But let's finish looking at the show. I think this guy's giving some awesome points.
Normally say, I need you to get my permission to use my videos, and I mean that. I don't care if you like it or not. If you don't get my permission, I do give out strikes. And if you bitch and moan about it, that just means you didn't ask for permission. I typically give permission if you just ask. That's the professional thing to do. However, this segment right here,
you gave permission on this segment.
You can use it. You can use it.
Yes.
Without even asking.
Right.
This part, because this shit is crazy. 60 to 70% of sisters are cooperative with men. The same percentage of single sisters are fit and in shape. And that same percentage is feminine. Go ahead. Y'all can use that without asking. Use it up. Go ahead and unmute yourself. Ma'am?
Yes.
Thank you for the entertainment, but that is not true. You know it's not true. 70% of black women are feminine. I realize that you want to make a good case for women, but honestly,
yes,
it's this kind of stuff that makes it worse for women, because you lie and you think you're helping, and it helps to feed the delusion. Ma'am, we can just look to the fitness component, and I'm going to try to be as delicate as I can, but 80% of black women are overweight. And then for you to sit back and say that you see black women as fit in Columbus, why is that helpful?
I think that, like, a lot of those statistics come from a BMI. And the BMI.
The BMI is not racial, none of that stuff. Ma'am, go look in your family photo. Go look in your family. Go listen.
BMI was established using white males.
Oh my God. How about you do this? Go back to your family photo album and look at women 100 years ago and show me the 300-pound women. Show me the 200-pound women. Go to your grandmother, your great-grandmother, and show me the women that weighed more than a man. The average black woman weighs more than a man. So I don't care if you want to say it's based off of a man or white man or not. How tall are you?
I'm 6 feet.
And I think it's fair to say that you probably weigh more than most men at 6 feet tall.
Yeah, I'm taller than most men.
I said most men at 6 feet tall. Most black women weigh more than a man at their height. That is against the nature of human beings. Anywhere on the planet, the female is not supposed to outweigh the male at the same height.
So women don't get anything for bearing children.
No. First off, before we get into that, you have to tell me you're married and have kids, and most aren't.
I don't have any children. I am married.
But okay, so arguably, ma'am, there's no reason that you should weigh what you weigh. without childbirth. There's no reason for it unless there's an actual diagnosed glandular problem or a diagnosed issue, which is very much the minority. And see, I need to ask you one question because you've been rather polite, but I do really want to understand one thing seriously.
Okay.
Why do women like yourself feel or believe that you are being helpful to women by lying?
I don't think that you're being helpful to women like for lying.
But you're not telling the truth. You're not telling the observable. You're 32. You're not telling the observable factual reality that you're living in America, man. And even if that's your anecdotal experience, that just looking online, you can look anywhere and see that the majority of black women are overweight. Black women are not known for being cooperative. Strong, independent, I don't need no man, that aggressive kind of, that's the stereotype. And it's rooted in some realities. It's not known for being the most feminine. And but by saying, yeah, we're this, yeah, we're that, yeah, we're this. How is that helpful?
I just want to know then who is.
How is it helpful? Before we answer that question, before we get to see, I don't do it. Before we get to that, you got to tell me how that's helpful. How is it helpful? Let me reframe it. How is it helpful to tell somebody who's failing a class, you're doing good? How's it helpful?
That's not. I don't think that that's helpful.
Well, modern women are failing at what they want. They want relationships. If you watch this show right now, the first sister I talked to wanted a marriage.
Right.
She wants additional kids, and she's on the path to not getting that. And I think it's really hurtful, especially coming from a married woman, to sit back and continue to be the delusion. And because you don't want to seem hurtful or hurt somebody's feelings. Okay, well, go ahead and keep shooting that heroin, but I don't want to call you a junkie. That's okay. Go ahead. Here's another 8-ball. Keep slamming that, though. But no, here's just a little heroin. Oh, no. It's not helpful to keep lying to people.
Yeah, but don't you think that part of it is confidence in yourself? Like, that's not...
Nope.
You don't
confidence
think that is important.
Okay, let's look at Lizzo. Lizzo will be the first one to tell you that she wants a man that's physically fit and in shape and somebody on her level. And she's confident as all get out and go. You think she's going to get a LeBron or somebody on that level? No. Confidence and delusion are two different, you can be confident and wrong.
That's an interesting perspective.
Is it true?
I don't think that we agree on the perspective, but
see, that's a perspective, man. But your perspective can be one thing, but the truth doesn't require you to agree with it. 2 + 2 is 4.
I agree.
Okay.
The truth is the truth.
Well, the truth is the truth. 80% of black women are truly overweight by any standard. You familiar with this old program called Soul Train?
Yes, I am.
Go back and watch that and see what we're supposed to look like. That's how we're supposed to be built.
But the onus is just on the individual person.
What do you mean?
Individuals
are the ones that get married.
Factors,
man.
Health,
okay. See what you're going to. The exception doesn't disprove the rule. And see, I need you to understand something. Look at how hard you're struggling to try to justify the unjustifiable.
I don't have any of my statistics with me.
Well, but you do have a scale. And see, that's the thing people don't like about my show, because you don't have to have statistics sometimes you can look at observable reality. If 1 in 4 black women will marry in their lifetime to any man, that's a problem. That means men are saying no. And you got to ask the men why they're saying no. And most men will say they're no because, one, lack of femininity, fitness, and cooperation. That's it. And
in this scenario, Do you believe that women can ask men to marry them? Do you think if
you can ask all day, you can ask all day long, and he'll just get rejected. Women control access to sex, and when a child is born, men control access to relationships. If it was easy as that, then Lizzo should be able to run up to LeBron and get married, or Drake, or whoever. That ain't how it works.
LeBron is married.
You get the point. And see, the thing is, I'm listening to a married woman sit back and continue to feed that. It's like Beyonce, all the single ladies, and she was running her married ass back home.
You know what's funny about that? I thought the same thing before I got married.
But you're doing the same thing she's doing. You're still you're fighting. But the fact of the matter, we've had a conversation, and you have fought to defend the indefensible. You fought to make a reason for it, other than saying yes. There's no reason that a woman, a black woman, should weigh more than a black man at her height. There's no environmental factor to where a female who's 5'5" should outweigh a man who's 5'5". Absolutely none. And instead of holding that, if you can't even be true by the biology, how can we gonna get true on the sociology? So you ask them, who's at fault? Women, like I said, because you lie to one another, you coddle each other, you delude one another. I'm helping more women than women like yourself because, well, he's so harsh, he's so mean. But guess what? Telling the truth that men believe, and the women are getting the outcomes. There are women right now like, I listen to Kevin, and he's the reason I'm engaged right now. I thank you for at least being respectful, but man, you got to start being honest with women. And the truth of the matter is, men want women who are fit, feminine, friendly, cooperative, submissive, and they don't have to be millionaires to want that. The average man in this country gets that without being a six-figure dude. Julio and Javier don't have to be baller to get Rosita to act like a woman. Appreciate it. I think that was reasonable, though, guys. That was a good. We're gonna have to have the.
All right, that was an awesome expose by Meta Rourke and the exponential Mr. Kevin Samuels. And I would say that show or proclamation was actually kosher. So I'll give it a kosher for being precise and also a brilliant analysis. His analysis often more or less actually parrots the show that I did, and there are a lot of similarities to the show that I did. What happens to a queen without a crown? So based on Kevin Samuels' proclamation, is the modern woman a queen without a crown? You decide. I want you to enjoy your day. And I want you to think about what this brother said. And please like, share, and subscribe to The Kosher Clinician on my YouTube channel. And I want you to have a great day. Listen, family and community is essential to a vibrant ecosystem. But I don't see us going or getting back to that place in history when men and women were getting along with no-fault divorce, with the entitlement and the incessant narcissism. You know, I'll say, thumbs up to the men that decide to get married in America, but I don't see the benefit. But anyway, on that note, be great. Have a good weekend. And remember this, if it ain't 7, it ain't kosher. If it ain't kosher, it ain't right. Be well. Faith is before you. Choose wisely.